Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Club podcast.
Yeah, this is kind of the reunion. You guys were our first two guests, right? That's when we started, yeah.
Fall of 2023, yeah.
Yeah, time flies.
It's been over a year.
How time flies, huh? How things change.
Yeah, in a year and a half.
You know?
Lots of things change,
Yeah.
right? So you guys are veterans, right? You guys have been in the industry now for what?
Couple years.
Over just 2 years, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Veteran.
That's funny.
How's it going now?
It's
You're going back?
there's a lot of doom and gloom out there, man. There's a lot of bad press, a lot of bad posts.
But that's the reality. Some of it, right?
That's life. I mean, we've been doing this 17 years. This August will be 18 years licensed. We've seen cycles happen before where people get scared and sales slow down and the numbers don't look so good, but it happens.
And I'm sure in these slowed down markets, a lot of agents quit, right? And it's happening now.
It's normal, yeah.
This is normal, right?
Yeah, it's
People come and go.
Even on good markets, people quit.
Yeah.
But now more so, yeah.
And I'm speaking from first-hand experience. I'm talking to agents who got in the industry with me. Like I met them in Humber.
Yeah.
We stayed in touch. Now I'm just catching up with them, talking to them, and some of them are actually quit. Like they told me.
More than half of our team went and got jobs.
Half.
More than half, I said.
Fucking 9 out of 10.
I think just it's just the ones in this room who did.
You're the only two, yeah. Almost the only two, yeah.
Like I don't know if you see these days in social media, these car dealerships, they're doing these videos on Instagram, and they're just bringing girls doing these
Yeah,
videos,
yeah.
and they're going viral.
Yeah, the
It's
Indian
becoming-
car dealership.
Yeah, it's trending
Yeah,
for some
big time,
reason,
big
and it's
time.
working, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the video, it came on my explore page.
And they'll get these girls who are not Indian to speak Punjabi.
Because it's kind of sexy.
It's the way they speak is horrible. The women, when they're speaking it, it's like me. I don't know how to speak Korean whatsoever, but me attempting to speak Korean it'll be funny to someone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
understands Korean. You know what I mean? So imagine you're hot or you're good looking and you're speaking a language and you're totally fumbling everything. So it gets a lot of views because of that. I think that's the shock content. The shock factor.
And it's new.
Well, there's
you don't have to be-
a white guy that goes to Chinese restaurants and speaks perfect Chinese, and this guy's YouTube channel is viral.
I've seen him.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen that guy. Yeah.
But I guess this goes back to the whole idea of marketing. It's like sex sells.
It's great. That's all it is, man. Look, we don't speak the language. We're not involved in that world or in that community, and we're sitting here talking about their marketing. It works, man. It's actually really good.
But I want to ask you now, when you meet, especially on the selling side, because now it's a buyer's market, so selling is harder, right? And I'm sure sellers are now very picky on choosing which realtor to sell their house.
Mm-hmm.
So are you finding that it helps you that obviously you have the experience versus other agents who don't have experience to get that listing? Or is it you don't want to even get, because for me, when I get calls from sellers, especially for assignments, I'm turning down a lot of sellers because now it's not fun to have a listing.
Their expectations are out of whack. Yeah, so that's why it's super important to have the conversations before you list, and don't be an order taker. You can't be an order taker in this type of market. You have to.
Or you're gonna waste a lot of time, and
You're gonna waste
be
everyone's
stressed,
time.
and you're not gonna make money.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure some agents are still order taking.
I had a condo listing the other day. The seller wanted look, let's call a spade a spade. People who bought pre-construction condos in the last 4 or 5 years are not doing really well. They're not selling their condos for more than they bought them for, which was the hope when they bought it in the first place. You know what I mean? So a lot of these pre-construction condo purchasers from 4 years ago, I hear this story all the time. I just want my money back. Let's just sell it for what I paid for it. We can't even do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's people who are paying people to take this condo from them so that they don't ultimately get sued by the builder, or well, they want to salvage whatever they can out of the deposit, and they're not. It's not happening.
So what about your listing?
So yeah, he wanted to get more than he paid for it. I told him, listen, it's look at the resale market. What makes you think that a buyer is going to come in and give you $100,000 more than your neighbor?
Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Are you gonna pay more?
You know, so I've had to take listings where, like, as much as I try and send data and convince the sellers that this isn't 2022, sometimes we have to list it at their price for 2 weeks. Okay, we'll try it. We'll try it out for a week. God willing that the seller has 2 weeks. You know, they have the time to try it out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's been happening a lot.
But in my experience, I think it's always best to price the condo correct from the beginning. Because when it sits on the market for too long, then it kind of like other buyers will see, oh, what's wrong with this condo? Why has it been in the market for 30, 40 days and no one bought it? You know?
Yeah.
So that's why, I don't know, do you guys agree? It's always best to price it correctly from the beginning. Because especially like when it comes new on the market, when it captures everyone's attention, obviously if they see it's overpriced, they will just ignore it.
Because the pricing is part of the marketing strategy. So even if you list super low, that's great because you're actually going to have more eyeballs on it and people are going to come by.
And obviously that's the strategy of the
Multiple offer.
multiple offer, right?
Yeah.
I also want to ask something. Everyone keeps saying, oh, we have housing shortage, right? But obviously it doesn't look like we have housing shortage because there's a lot of listings on the market sitting and they're not selling. My assumption is obviously the buyers who were buying properties back in 2021, 2022, obviously they're still, like most of them are still here, but they're living with their family now. And they're saying like, I'm gonna keep living with my family and I'm not gonna buy a condo because you know it's expensive and especially with the interest rates. Do you guys agree? Like where did these people go? The people who were lining up to buy properties when the market was hot. I don't think they all left Canada. They're still here.
Are you talking about pre-construction condos who were lining up or just like...
I mean, like even the resale market was
yeah,
hot.
when they're getting
like, overall,
20, 30,
where
40 offers.
Where are these people? Did they leave Canada? I'm sure some of them left, but there's still a lot of people are here. So my assumption is, even I'm talking to people, they tell me like we want to, like let's say someone got married and now he's living with his wife, with his family in the house, like let's say in the basement. Obviously they don't prefer that. They rather buy a condo or a house to live by themselves.
Okay.
Like now they're holding off because also like the economy is uncertainty and also like it's more expensive to buy properties with the interest rates.
So my thought is it's not the interest rates that's the problem. It's the message that it's sending. And when other people are buying, like we said, people are, like myself included, we tend to, you know, if somebody wants to buy something and there's a lot of people lining up for it, we want to buy that thing. We want to have that.
So it's FOMO.
It's sheep mentality. Yeah. But now that there is uncertainty and economically we're not doing as, you know, well as we were 2-3 years ago as well. Like during COVID times, people are like saving up a bunch too, so they had more cash lying around. Now, people are worried about like losing their jobs.
I actually have a friend who actually lost a job in IT, and now he's looking for a new job, and like he's telling me it's tough.
Second thing is a condo market. We have a lot of the wrong type of supply because nobody really wants to move their, like, if they're a couple, they don't want to live in a 400 square foot one bedroom. And that's the supply that we have a lot of right now.
And that was mostly like most people buying these were investors, and now investors, a lot of them are not buying.
Like from freeholds to condos, like a big proportion is condos right now, right?
Yeah, apparently like 70% of all listings in Toronto right now are condos. In Toronto, we don't have a shortage of detached and semi-detached.
Yeah, it's the condos.
We have condos that are the problem. You know what I mean?
We do have a shortage of semis and...
See, that's what I mean. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And the condos were absorbed by investors, and obviously now investors are not.
A lot
buying.
of people who were buying pre-construction were investors.
Yeah, and mainly condos,
Mainly
especially these
condos.
400 square foot condos. So I think the only way to come back to that market, or even just prices to start going back up, is investors have to come back to the market.
That means more renters have to come back to the market too. Rental prices have to, you know, kind of appreciate.
Imran posted a post yesterday saying the Ontario rental prices are the lowest they've been in years.
I mean, we're in the game too, right? So like...
Yeah, we're seeing it firsthand, yeah.
We're seeing it firsthand. Like, whatever we see is what they write about.
So if rental prices aren't doing good right now and there's not enough...
Why would you buy?
Yeah. Like, why am I going to invest in a condo?
Doesn't make any sense. But if you have if you have a foresight to know what's going to happen in the next 3-4 years, if you have that level of foresight,
yeah,
then you'll do well. Anybody who buys right now, like, Man, I'm scrolling through my phone right now and I'm looking at this unit. They reduced the price from 630,000 to 500,000.
630 to 500.
630 to 500. I just posted it in our group chat. This is an Edge Tower, 644 square feet with a parking spot. 500,000 for 644 square feet equals $780 a square foot.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I paid in 2018 pre-construction. I paid $776 a square foot for my unit in Edge.
But
Go
Imran,
back
you're,
to the-
you're still picking up a $500,000 mortgage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
But I
you're still
wouldn't
you're
do it-
you're
I
still
wouldn't do it
picking up a
myself.
$500,000 mortgage that's going to cost you $2,500 a month plus $400 in maintenance fees and $300 in property taxes. The thing's going to cost you $3,200 a month. You can rent it for what?
2,500, 26.
500 square feet, 645 square feet, 21, 22.
Oh, you said 500 square feet?
No, so I have 450 square feet in the same building, and I'm getting it rented for $2,300.
Yeah, that's about right.
$450 a square.
When did you
foot.
rent it out?
Like a few months ago. Like 4 or 5
This
months
one
ago.
is 644 square foot.
It's 644.
Yeah.
It's 1% to washroom.
$2,500 a square foot for this. So if I'm out of pocket, first of all, I would not buy this by myself. Don't buy investment properties by yourself if you don't have to. Partner up with people. I'll partner up with somebody and I'll split the cost. And I know it's gonna cost me out of pocket, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care how much it's gonna cost me. I don't care how much it's gonna cost me.
Wait, you haven't had that on?
Yeah, I just realized.
Oh, it's not on? I had to. Tony doesn't have his on.
Yeah.
I
So
just,
you
I'm-
fucking guys, the whole time I've been.
So we're saying
If I buy this unit and I'm being out of pocket right now, anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a month is normal. That's the norm right now. If anybody who bought in 2019, 2020, unless you bought a 2-bedroom for $1.2 million downtown Toronto, unless you bought something like that, you know what I mean? You're gonna be out of pocket $5,000 a month or something. But for your average unit, the average person is out of pocket $500 to $1,000. To me, that's fine. That's normal. These units are on sale right now. They're all on sale. I can pay the same for a unit 5 years ago pricing. Today, holy fuck, this is opportunity, man. And I know 3-4 years from now, there's not gonna be any new inventory. The rents are gonna go sky high. You guys know this yourself, though. The rents are gonna go crazy. Mississauga as well. Mississauga units are almost $5 a square foot rental rate right now. Almost $5 a square foot. That's huge, man. Today, imagine 4 years from now. It's gonna be like $7, $6-7 a square foot. It's like $3,000 for a 1+ den. It's gonna happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
I see what you mean. But it's hard to believe it now when you're in this market. But you gotta have that vision.
It's hard to believe it when you don't have money and you're hurting. But if you have a little bit of cash and you followed some good easy principles, you know what I mean? Don't over leverage, you know what I mean? Just you stayed conservative and you have a little bit of cash, then you'll be able to see it. But if you're hurting, then no, you won't be able to see it for sure.
My Avia, the unit I have for sale.
Yes.
I was just speaking with the seller on my way here. We got an offer for 480,000. She wants.
For 1+ done.
Yeah, she paid 513,000 back in 2019, and the asking price is the original price. So we're also asking 513,000.
Wow.
But the highest we got so far, the best offer is 480. So she will lose what? 33,000 plus commission, and builder fee is like what? Almost 50-60,000. So she's gonna lose most of her deposits. And she's like, you know what? I'm thinking to just close on it now, and like rent it out for 1 or 2 years until the market picks up. Because like she's seeing the rates are going down for the mortgage.
yeah.
So they're not as distressed as like end of last year when the rates were higher, you know?
Yeah, and like if she does close on it, you know, forget closing costs, forget all that stuff, but if she does close on it, she can, so it's $33,000 a month. If she waits 1 year and sells it for what she paid for, $3,000 a month would give you $36,000 a year,
Yeah.
right?
That's for like, are you calculating the rent?
Yeah, like if she, let's just say she closes and she loses $1,000 a month, like she said with Imran,
Okay.
she could go 3 years She can afford to go 3 years
Yeah.
at negative $1,000 a month, sell it for what she paid for it, and she would be the same as where she is if she sold it for 480. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I get your point. So are you saying like she should sell now or wait?
Well, I mean, look, we all hope that the real estate market is going to do better than 36,000. Like, what's the math on that? So if 513, 6%.
6%.
So we need the condo market to go up 2% per year, and she'd be the same, and she would be the same.
I see your point, yeah. And that's assuming if interest rates don't keep dropping. Because then like her 1,000 is going to become less, the shortfall.
Well, it depends if she gets a fixed rate or not.
Yeah, but nowadays everyone is getting variable. Most people, right? I'm going to get variable soon.
I wish I got variable. Where do you see the market? What do you see happening in a year from now? Like, I'm seeing a lot of negative posts on Instagram. I'm seeing a lot of people with the doom and gloom, the tariffs coming in, and how it's going to affect the real estate market and becoming the 51st state of the United States. And
I mean, I would love to, but that's another topic.
I mean, look, things don't look good, but if more people see a thing that doesn't look good, then that's where the opportunity lies, right?
you know what I think that if you look throughout history, there was always something that didn't look good.
Yeah, like something negative.
There was always something that could make the doom and gloom, the doomsday people predict the crash is coming, predict the crash is coming, predict the crash is coming. You know what I mean?
Sometimes they do end up being right, because there's also a thing in the stock market where you don't want to catch a falling knife. And if we look at a country like
Venezuela?
yeah, Venezuela, for example,
Damn.
I don't know. I do see a future where things do get better for Canada.
I also see that.
Like you said, there is probably going to be a shortage of new construction and new supply being delivered like 3-4 years from now.
That shortage doesn't mean anything if there's no demand, right? So the demand has to come back. To be honest, for me specifically, I just want investors to wanna come back to the market and invest in the market.
Yeah.
And this obviously has to do with taxes and capital gains and all the other reasons, right? Why investors stopped investing.
There's so
this
many
has, like, I don't know,
roadblocks.
we'll see Pierre if he takes over and if he changes these laws. That will depend on
Even the
that.
stupid shit like vacant home tax that you have to report once a year, that's just like one more headache for an investor or anybody that lives in Toronto.
And I think, did they stop it or no? Or like they were losing a lot of money. Like they didn't know how to kind of run it.
And then I think you sent an article the other day as some government worker that was supposed to use the funds for like homelessness.
Oh, I posted it. Bro, I was pissed, yeah.
Like they took away what, a couple
4 million.
4 million
Yeah,
bucks.
that's our tax dollars.
So clearly like our government's very mismanaged. Like it's
Yeah, not to get into...
yeah, not to get too political here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of have to do whatever. I mean, it's just not meant to be efficient, like the taxing system.
Yeah. But I agree. I do see there's bright future for Canada. Even like a lot of people, like I think you said you don't want to be the 51st state of US, right?
I like Canada.
Exactly. And
I like our reputation in
yeah,
the world.
a lot of-
I
a lot of-
liked our reputation in the world.
yeah, a lot of people share the same, same opinion. Even
I don't think that Canada will ever be a big player in the world. I'd rather it not be a big player in the
Yeah.
world. I'd rather it be a little bit more like Switzerland and stay
Yeah.
neutral and
Yeah.
stay out of the problems in the world.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I liked about Canada. 20 years ago, when I went to Europe, my older cousins who had gone before me, everyone takes that Euro trip to after high school, before university or after university.
yeah.
They would tell me, sew a Canadian flag on your backpack so that people know you're Canadian and not American. That doesn't get you anywhere anymore. You go to
Yeah.
Europe and you tell some people, you go to Australia, you tell people you're Canadian. Oh, isn't that like, they already think we're American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I liked Canada's reputation.
So I see there's a future. Even I'm talking from first-hand experience. The client I was telling you guys that I stopped working with him. He's actually from Dubai, and he's working there. He has a good job, good life, but he wants to buy a house here because eventually he wants to live here.
Yeah.
So he wants to buy now because prices are down, and then he's gonna rent it out until he comes and live here.
Yeah, this cycle is going to end, and the Toronto real estate market is going to come back stronger than it ever was before. Like all you have to do is just look at other major cities in the world, and where they're priced at. And when they had bust years, when their markets were going down, and look at who bought those condos or those properties when the market was going down. I was talking to Imran the other day. Warren Buffett, apparently, his cash reserves are the biggest they've ever been.
Yeah.
He's selling all his Apple stock. So experts would tell you that they're expecting a crash.
Yeah.
When it does crash, what do you think Warren Buffett's going to do with all that cash reserve?
He's going to rebuy. He's going to
leave
rebuy
it there?
everything.
He's going to buy at a discount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Imran's right, man. I think that people who are cash heavy right now, there's a lot of opportunity right now where you can get back into the condo market or back into the investor market. Let's leave Ontario tenant and landlord laws aside,
That's got to change.
you know, but
That will change, I think, soon enough.
Imran, remember when we were doing showings for Simon and Jazz and like back in the day when we were like buyer agents, you know? God, we would sell condos to our senior partners and investors, and they would be negative cash flow. Resale condos, they would take $400 to $500 hit every month, $6,000 a year, but the fucking thing was going up 5%. They're buying $500,000 condos. It's going up 5%, 25 grand, and they're paying $6,000 out of their pocket. It's a no-brainer.
That's what's happening
we
now.
used to say, why don't you buy 5 of them?
Yeah.
That's what's going on right
That's
now.
what you can find now. That's what you can find now. You get back to it was 15 years ago. You buy these resale condos. Maybe they don't carry themselves. You're going to take a $400, $500, $600 hit every month, maybe a little bit more nowadays. But at the end of the day, you're counting on the capital appreciation.
Yeah, but that's the thing. For investors, this sentiment is hard for them to believe there's actually going to be appreciation. Since the past 2-3 years, there have been negative appreciation, right? Like, I know maybe we can see it, but for majority of people, they can't see that. And I understand why. I understand.
And it's usually the minority of people who grab their balls and make these moves during these times of uncertainty that reap the rewards of them in 10, 15 years from now.
1%.
So last month, I sold a condo, and the buyer...
No way.
I mean, in this market, it's...
Good job, bro. Congrats.
I call hearsay.
yeah, I sold a condo.
Yeah.
But no, the buyer paid cash. And I was surprised. I was like, yo, there's cash buyers in this market. But yeah.
That's great.
And he brought his money from Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, he sold his property there. He was like, I believe the market there is like capped.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money. Like, he made money from selling his property. And he was like, I don't know. I believe this is the next opportunity. So he brought his money. He paid cash.
Nice.
He was looking into the assignment market. But so it was in Brightwater in Port Credit.
Okay.
We couldn't find him a good assignment, so we actually just bought a resale. Like, the resale in that specific project was cheaper than the assignment. So he bought resale, and it was a great unit.
Brightwater, the one and two, the ones that closed already.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
no way.
We were looking at the third one, which is called the Mason.
Yeah. Mason.
They also have townhomes, but townhomes like this are like 1.4 million.
What did you buy?
So we bought 2 plus den,
Okay.
720 square foot,
Yeah.
for 730,000. So it's about 1,000 per square foot. But in that project, it's a steal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all the other condos are selling for
Which project?
1,100, 1,200 Brightwater. But actually, so like, yes, there's a lot of doom and gloom, but actually some properties are getting multiple offers.
Yeah, like
In a couple of days,
if it's something that fits the people's requirements, so yeah, they are. But if it's like just an investor cookie cutter unit, these are the ones that there's a huge supply of right now.
Because what makes your 400 square foot condo different than the other 400?
650 square foot condo.
Huh?
Like, if you have another 250 square feet, that's a pretty big size upgrade from a 450 square feet. I just have a hard time grasping the rental rates going up so much without changes to the LTB rules. Like,
What do you mean the rental rates going up, going down, you mean, right?
No, but like you said, in the future, rents are going to go up.
Yeah.
Like, 1 plus 10s are going to be $3,000, which already happened before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, the reason is that for a $3,000 rental, like for an income qualification thing, you're looking at like 120K. Your income needs to be 120K to actually technically qualify for a $3,000 rental rate.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. What's
So
Yeah, what's the? That's not bad.
my thing is like, how many people are really making that much money?
lot.
Yes, there are, and then
lot.
if we have the supply, it's like
well, but then that's why people live together, right?
That's why people live together, and also there's a lot of people who are like legacy tenants. They're just gonna stay in the same unit. You can't raise the price on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people are gonna remain in the units, and you don't want to raise prices on them. Like I don't like raising prices on my tenants. I want to try to leave it as close as possible to what they rented at, so they can stay long too. You know.
See, this just happened a couple of weeks ago. I have this landlord who has this tenant, like she's the perfect tenant, you know, no issues. She pays rent on time, perfect, and she wanted to move out. Why? Because there were some issues with the HVAC in the building, and it's a new building. That's even surprising. So, like, she's very nice that she didn't tell the landlord about the issue. The landlord told her, "Why you didn't tell me that you've been having this issue with the HVAC?" You know, because the condo is under warranty.
Yeah.
And now, like, all of a sudden, she told him, "I just want to move out because of this issue." So he told her, like, "No, we can solve it. There's warranty." So he spoke with Terion and the builder, and then they're still trying to fix it. But he told her, "If you stay, because he wants her to stay there, because he doesn't want me to rent it out again, and he has to pay commission, and it may stay vacant for a couple of months, and we might not find the same tenant, right? And also the rental rates went down." So he's a smart landlord. He suggested, like, we were having a discussion, me and him, and he told me, "What if I offer her 1 month free rent?"
How much? Where is this place? Where's the unit?
It's M City in Mississauga. M City
How big is
condos.
the unit?
It's 820 square foot,
How much is she paying?
2,900.
And did she get a parking spot?
Yeah, parking and locker.
But the point I was trying to make earlier is that the rental rates need to go up for the investors to see condos as an attractive investment to get back into the market where the demand to buy goes up again. And it's like the $3,000 to 1 + den, that's irrelevant. Like, let's say it was $5,000 for a 1 bedroom. Like, how is the incomes gonna keep tracking so that it matches the qualification levels for the rental rates?
But that's what I told you. People live together, or like they have to have high income.
Yeah,
but I'm
people
not
live
gonna-
together.
If it's a 1 + den, I'm not gonna get 4 people to live in my 1 + den.
No, just a couple.
I mean, in Brampton maybe, but
Yeah, yeah.
no,
So-
yo.
No, but I mean, it's the evolution of a city. Look, it's the same as New York City.
York's
Like if you
$4,000,
can't
bro.
afford living in Toronto, then get the fuck out of
Then
Toronto.
you won't come to Toronto
Yeah,
to
go
begin
to fucking
with.
Stouffville. Go to fucking Guelph.
So
you
that-
can't afford it here.
That's what I was getting at. So that's the thesis. It's like if more rich people live here, more people will want to live here, right? So that's why rental rates will go up.
Yeah, we just have to go through the valley first. We have like this is just all normal part of growth.
So if more and more people are making $300,000 to, you know, afford whatever rent they like 30% of that is, then we're gonna have more people that want to come to the city, right?
Yeah, and in 20 years when we have our next bus, they're gonna say, "Oh, rents haven't been this low since 2024."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're just at the bottom.
Yeah, rents are high, man. I mean, I remember I was doing rentals downtown Toronto when I got started in the business. I was doing rentals downtown Toronto, like heart of the city, city place. You know what I mean? Let's say heart, financial district, whatever. 1 bedrooms were renting 600 square foot 1 bedrooms, because you guys know the older units are always bigger, right?
yeah.
600 square foot 1 bedrooms we're renting for like $1,300.
Yeah.
$1,300.
Yeah, I remember that. Fucking Young and Shepherd too.
And people
Young
are
and
probably still
Shepherd
complaining back then.
Bro, 2 bedrooms we're renting for like $1,900. I remember when I would do a rental for like $2,400. To me, that's like ultra luxury. Like
Yeah.
I'd be like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
just paid $1,000.
Yeah, $2,400 rental. Damn, this is some luxury shit. Now, 1 bedroom, my 1 bedroom in Mississauga is getting $5 a square foot rental rate. Almost $5 a square foot. So yeah, Tony's right. Everybody's saying this is the lowest rental rate, and no, man, this is the fucking high. This is high, man.
Yeah.
We're historically still very high. And the simple economic of supply and demand.
Like compared to how much rents have increased over the last 10 years, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
isn't that
The
much.
little dip,
Yeah.
it's nothing, bro. It's fucking nothing. The problem is the cost of borrowing is high. That's the problem.
I guess
Or
I'm
that-
just trying to be like empathetic to the situation. Is like if people are in an entry level job making 50K, it's like how are they living in?
They're not
Toronto?
my target market.
Yeah,
I know.
and bro, these people are not going to fancy restaurants. They're not going to like. It's the same thing with everything.
They're not exactly. They're not
Yeah.
my target market. So when I'm looking to sell property, somebody who's earning 50K a year is not my target. They won't be
Yeah.
able to get qualified.
And it's not like Loblaws target. Like they're not going to be shopping at Loblaws or like.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So I mean, like, there's always a market. If there's a market for $300,000 cars, there's a market for $3,000 a month, 1-bedroom den condos to rent. You know what I mean? So
It's all relative. Like how much is a 1-bedroom, 650 square feet unit rent for in Singapore?
I don't know. Do you know?
No, look it up. You have.
what did you ask? What did you ask?
Let's get the
Singapore.
producer to pull it up. Producer,
Can you pull it?
can you pull up the stats, please?
1 bedroom in the city center is 3,600 Singaporean GD, 3,800 Canadian.
Yeah, 3,800, man. That's Singapore.
1 bedroom in the city is 3,800 Canadian. 1 bedroom outside of the city is 3,000 Canadian.
3,000.
But now let's
Holy
try to
fuck.
compare this because it's not apples to apples. Like, what's the difference? It's like Singapore's crime rate is like virtually zero, isn't it?
I don't know what their crime rate is, but if you go back 20 years, I'm sure it was lower than it was today. Meaning, we're not the most expensive place to live in the world.
No.
No. How do you know how much?
But I don't
I
think
think
it's going to plateau.
The expensive.
Because when our 1-bedrooms are $3,800 a month, what do you think Singapore's is going to be?
But the
What do you think
expense-
Tokyo's is going to be? You know what I
Expensive
mean?
is relative to people's incomes. Because like if you're making 50K but it's $3,000, that's expensive. But if you're making 200K and it's $3,000, it's not expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like us going to like Thailand, for example. It's like stuff is a lot cheaper there compared to how much income we have here,
Thailand?
or wherever, like Latin America.
Yeah, interesting. I think one thing that I learned over these past few years is that there's other places than the GTA where you can invest in real estate and make a pretty penny.
Yo, I heard a building doesn't have heat. I saw on Instagram the other day. Was it the Gupta building? Yeah.
Oh yeah. This building is known to having like all
Problems?
sorts of fear issues. Yeah, and that's why like you will find always the cheapest prices there, whether it's
Yeah.
rent or. I remember one time I was helping someone to move in that area,
Oh yeah.
and he kept sending me the units in
because
that.
it's cheaper, right?
Yeah, because it's just cheaper. And then I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I appreciate the feedback. I didn't know that." I was like, "Okay, that's why you work with a realtor."
This dumb. She's going through a court order right now.
No way.
Yes, brother.
Like, did you just search her name randomly?
Yeah. Not random, but like I knew. I'll never forget her name. She has 3. 1,
No
2,
way.
3. Mine was in 2009.
So, like, what happened? She
I
stopped
took
paying
it-
rent?
She stopped paying rent. It took me 5 months to get her out, and I dealt with the landlord and tenant board. I gave the eviction L2, whatever it is, and you have to put dated, right? There has to be dates. Brother, I was off by 1 day. So you submit it. I paid $300 for the application, and then I had to wait 30 days in order to see what the landlord and tenant board says. So I just waited. So 30 days goes by, I go back to the landlord and tenant board, they pull it up and they're like, oh shit, we can't do anything with your file because you're 1 days off. I'm like, I waited a month for you to tell me this and then I gotta pay again for 1 day?
Ridiculous. Fucking
So
bullshit.
anyway, I ended up getting the judgment against her of getting her kicked out.
Yeah.
And there was no open room.
There was no
I
open
couldn't
room.
put
Yeah,
this and
fuck.
I don't have the files, you know?
And now her name is on 3
Brother,
cases.
still now.
So she's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Look how
She's
broken
a
our
professional tenant.
fucking thing is, guy.
Yeah.
That this lady, almost 20 years later, is still running the same
Yeah.
scam, and her name is in our system,
Yeah.
and she's allowed to get away with this.
And she's gonna keep doing it.
She's going through one right now.
Yo, can you search by name?
Yeah, bro.
Search Eden.
No, Kimberly
we'll cut it out, we'll cut it
Tynes, Kimberly Ann Tynes,
Hold on.
Tynes.
I mean, it's public info.
It's yeah.
What's the website? I'll
Open room. Oh, bro, I use it every time when I'm renting a
Oh, same. I,
listing a place.
first thing I do is search your name.
Every time, bro.
That's like the first step. Because
Yeah.
if you find their name,
So I don't want to throw shade on any particular person, but I think what definitely needs to be reformed is the way that pre-construction occupancies are handled.
Oh, big time.
I think that the
Big
interest
time.
rate that the developers are charging is needs more justification, needs more administering. I think it's not fair to build up all this hype, have people line up outside your buildings, charge them whatever the hell you want with no appraisal at the time of purchase, and then put all the risk on the purchaser 4 or 5 years from now.
And the thing is,
Delivering units half finished.
Half finished.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Not even ready.
it's way too early to call this unit habitable. You know,
Yeah.
that's not how it looked in the
Missing a
showroom.
window.
That's not what your model
True.
suite looked like. With
Yeah,
the,
true.
the closet organizers not fixed, a hood fan not installed, your carpets in the hallway not even installed yet. I think that needs a big reform.
I agree. I completely agree. And also, like, not only they're charging high interest rate, but the occupancy period. It can be anywhere from like 1
I
day
think
to.
both either
Well,
the
because
city,
they put it in too early, right?
either the city or the builder or a combination of both needs to have some sort of accountability on when to deliver final
I
registration.
mean, it's the city has to enforce it on builders because builders are actually just following the law. This is
Yeah,
the
like
law.
if-
So it's
if-
the
if-
city.
if you the city or the builder in a combination of both takes their sweet ass time and forces these investors who are providing new housing. Like, why do we get a $24,000 rebate as an investor on HST? Why? Because we're providing new housing for people.
Term.
Yeah, like the minimum requirements to put somebody in occupancy for a unit, it should be of a higher standard. Like, you can't just have a microwave and say that's a heat source that you can cook your food in, and have like tap water running on the sink but nowhere to shower. Like that shouldn't be the minimum
And
requirement.
the thing is, this is only in Ontario. It's not like in all provinces.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously, like the builder, they can do it out of good heart, but they don't have to. They're just following the law, right? It's a fair game. So it's on the city to change the laws.
I mean, it's certainly not good for their brand name.
True, yeah.
Like
but again,
reputation.
it's on the city. They have to change the laws.
Like, I know
right?
certain builders that I would never buy from ever again.
Of course, yeah. But also they tell you, like, people forget. A lot of builders
Yeah.
screwed people over, and then again they launch projects and people are buying. You know, so yeah, I would say it's on the city. This occupancy period, occupancy fees, this whole thing that delivering half completed unit. Also, like delaying occupancy.
Yeah, like just here apparently they just closed. Your boys.
Rodeo Drive is closing right now. Yeah.
How long were they on occupancy?
Holy fuck.
Be
guy,
honest.
Like 2 years, bro.
Be honest.
Yeah.
20
I'll tell you
O'Neill,
right,
right?
now. Yeah,
should
20
know.
O'Neill. I'll tell you right now. Hold
You
on.
should know, right?
I'll tell you right now. Yeah, one sec.
January 2023, that's when I found you a tenant.
January 23?
Yeah.
2 years.
Like, that's ridiculous.
That's
man.
ridiculous, guy.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, there
had
has to-
had I known this at the time of signing, I wouldn't fucking buy it.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
There has to be regulations. Because I'm getting occupancy in July. I'm afraid that also this is going to be the case. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. It's been a pleasure.
No, like we came actually.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, whatever. But definitely we're going to do it again. Alright, guys, there you have it. See you on the next one.
You know what I would love to ask you guys?
What? Who else is there?
Huh?
You just pointed out three.
The three of you. And then I'll answer it after you guys answer.
Sure.
If you had a city councillor sitting in this room with us right now, and you had the ability to change policy with regards to real estate, what's one thing you would change?
The rental laws.
Okay, so you talk about it. So you can't repeat each other's answers. So
Yeah, I mean, it's...
rental laws in what sense?
The Ontario rental laws. It's first of all, it's called the Residential Tenancies Act.
Okay.
It's not called the Residential Landlords Act. The Residential Tenancies Act. It's immediately in favor of the tenant, but I did all the heavy lifting to buy.
So
the
what would you
place.
change? What specific policy would
I
you
would
change?
get rid of the landlord, and I would get rid of the board. The Landlord and Tenant Board is useless. It's totally useless. It's a waste of our money. It's a waste of our time. Get rid of these people. Who are they? Who's running it? I don't even know who's running it.
So who's going to administer any disputes?
It's a law. If you don't pay, you gotta get out. So the thing about Calgary doesn't have a landlord and tenant board. If you don't pay, beat it. 2 weeks, beat it. Get out. Cops are coming. Here,
Sheriff.
you gotta call sheriff. You gotta fucking schedule a sheriff months in advance.
Yeah.
Stupid. Cops cannot walk into the property. Doesn't matter what's going on. If you walk into your own property, they can call the cops on you. What kind of nonsense is this? Get rid of the landlord and tenant board. It's just nonsense. Total
Or just
utter
make it
nonsense.
fair. Like just make it fair.
Make it fair. Making it fair is getting rid of them. I have to pay. First of all, they're not even, the tenant's not fucking paying, and then I gotta pay to submit a document to get them evicted.
8 months later, it gets looked at.
It's like 5 months now
I gotta pay
or less.
for them to view the document, to look at the document, to tell me, yeah, this is correct. If I fill out one letter wrong on that document that I paid to submit, I gotta redo it again and pay again.
Well, that's why you gotta pay the paralegal now.
So I agree with you in the sense.
Nonsense.
I think it needs reform. I don't think you should eliminate it completely because you definitely do need some sort of a body that's overlooking these things. I think that the laws need to be a lot more in favor of the landlords, and yeah, it's crazy.
For me, I just want it to be fair. I don't want it to be in favor of landlord or tenant. Just be fair.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Fair
what's
is-
fair?
If you don't pay, you get the fuck out.
But I'm just going to tell you guys a story. I was talking to this guy who was on the tenant side of things. And he was talking more about like your big landlords, like your homesteads.
Yeah.
And like your rental buildings, your
this guy
apartment
a tenant
buildings.
too?
Yeah, he's a tenant. He's a tenant. And he's complaining, saying that it's bullshit that the people in this building were being evicted. That it was bullshit. Well, they've lived there for years. You're making them uproot their lives, and I said, listen, cities change. Whoever bought that building can't afford to service the debt based on the amount of rent that you guys are paying him. When next door, to live in a similar property, they're getting $2,000 more a month. And if he was able to charge market rent, he could cover the debt service, but he can't charging you guys this rent that he's charging. So what's going to happen is he's going to default on his payments. The bank is going to take over, and they're going to force you to move.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've overstayed your affordability. You can no longer afford to live where you live. It happens. Oh, but I've been living here for 100 years. Yeah, but did you buy it? No, I'm renting. Okay, well, I think that if you get lifelong entitlement to where you're living, because just because you've been living there 100 years, it should cost you more than first and last month's rent. Does that make sense?
Don't say that again.
So the tenant guy was telling me that his mother lived there and his grandmother lived there, and they've lived there for generations. Generations of people were living, paying rent every month. And they paid their rent every month, until eventually the landlord came and said, we can no longer afford to charge you this rent. We're demolishing the building. We're taking it down.
Yeah.
And you can live here once we're done building, but not at the same rent you were paying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So why does this guy, if somebody's been living, they're a legacy tenant, and they've been living in one of these apartments.
Yeah.
First of all, the people who complain and speak up about bad landlords, they're not talking about us.
No, they're not talking about your mom and pop
No,
shop.
they're
No,
talking
they're
about
the big
the
guys.
homestead,
Yeah,
the
the
guys
big
who-
guys. Yeah.
The Tricons.
The
or whatever.
REITs and-
The REITs and,
Yeah.
But if somebody's a legacy tenant living there for 20 years plus, you know what I mean, in an apartment building, why the fuck haven't you figured out how to go and buy something else? Is it the owner of the building's responsibility to keep this person a house forever?
Yeah.
Yo,
And
beat it, man.
man,
It's a business.
if all I had to do was give first and last rent, and I know that the generations and generations and my grandkids are gonna have
Yeah,
somewhere to live.
kick rocks.
Come on, man. That doesn't work
100%.
like that,
It
man.
doesn't work like that.
Tell me one service where you don't have to pay and you can still keep using the service.
You know
There's
what?
no
Dude, you would go to jail. You would go to jail.
It's stepped. Like
if
my-
that's the case, then Roger should be fucking not charging me.
that's what I'm saying. don't pay, then like
Yeah.
they will cancel your service.
Yeah, I can't afford it.
I shouldn't be paying
Yeah.
car
Yeah.
insurance.
I can't afford to pay my electricity bill. I can't
Yeah.
afford to pay my car bill.
Yeah.
Nonsense, bro.
City councillor, sitting right here.
Me?
Anyone, first guy to answer gets to answer the question.
I mean, for me, fucking remove all these land transfer tax.
Okay.
It's a scam. Development charges.
Fuck is this?
Or
Land
ma-
transfer
make-
tax for what?
Make it reasonable, not like in Toronto. What?
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Brother, we pay property tax already.
Then you also have property tax.
Leave the property tax for their little municipality
Yeah,
bullshit, and with the amount of money that they make just off of our property tax is more than enough to fix the roads and make sure we don't have long wait times in the hospital or whatever it is.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Landlord Tenant Board. We have taxes, both of them great fucking things. I agree with you guys, both of you.
Especially land transfer tax.
Third,
Yeah.
what would you do?
Agreed.
City councillors.
Allocation of taxes. I don't think it's being used efficiently, and like, why are they spending money on fucking naming Dundas Square into like Sankofa Square? Why are they sending
fighting words?
funding for like what was it, like some other country to learn about trans?
Tanzania.
Tanzania, yeah, but that's
No,
that's
that was to
federal,
teach
though.
them English.
Okay, true. City council. Yeah, get rid of like taxes. I think,
Nonsense.
Or development charges.
and not just that. I think maybe it would help because I want to keep things fair, and you know, people do have a right to have shelter. Like, some people are born less privileged, so I think maybe for like investors, like they can have up to like 2 residential properties, or like put a limit on that, and then after that put like a tax on that.
Okay, interesting.
But then put no limits on like commercial properties, or like something that supports more businesses, you know, that stimulates the economy.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree to do that versus not like because they banned the.
Yeah, like you
bars,
might not
right?
be a big corporation or REIT that owns a huge apartment building, but you're kind of still taking away from the supply if you're a landlord that owns like 50 condos.
Yeah, because you're doing it exactly.
So
And especially on like foreign buyers, I would rather do that, put a limit, rather than like just banning all the.
yeah, like I'd
Just
rather
because
have foreign
we
investment
need
come to
foreign
the country.
investors, Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, put a limit.
Yeah.
And that's just demand coming from foreigners because they see Canada as an
There's a
attractive
potential.
country.
Yeah.
Like, why are we?
Discouraging them.
Yeah.
From
That's why
buying here.
That's why Dubai is why it is now.
Yeah.
It's like all investors go there. They take their money, you know.
Like, if foreign investment was like 20%, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, and then that way we know we're getting quality people who are
Yeah.
coming here, not fucking 6 people trying to rent a 2-bedroom condo.
Yeah.